Hi, this is Hunter's Ridge Farms. We're doing a video today and through the next couple weeks of making lamb jerky. This is a recipe everyone raves about: brown sugar and applewood. It's cured, smoked, thin sliced real meat, not ground up burr. We start with a leg of lamb. That's what this is. And we'll take a cut out of here, there to there. We'll freeze it and thin slice it and then process it into jerky. This is our leg of lamb here that's been sliced up. It goes like this, off the leg and boned. That's the hock that came off the other end. This has been cleaned up, squared up. The bits have gone into sausage and kebabs. This piece here will be frozen and thin sliced in this direction on a meat slicer. Really thin, about 3/16 to an 1/8 inch thick. And after it's sliced, it has to be frozen to be sliced. It's too easy for that. After it's sliced and thawed, we'll put it in the brine for about a week. It's the brown sugar and salt brine. These are some various cuts of meat, mostly from the leg and shoulder, that we're going to make lamb jerky out of. We're not going to cure this yet. We're going to freeze it and then thin slice it across the grain always. These are our pieces of meat we froze. They're frozen pretty hard, so we microwave them just a little bit. When they're rock hard, they're hard to cut. When they're just still solid, they stay nice and firm and cut thin. This is the old meat slicer. You can see we have about a 1/8 gap in the side here. That's how thick we're going to cut stuff. This is how we slice the pieces. Always make sure you're going against the grain. This right here is the original cut that's against the grain. And we leave the muscle fibers really, really short. They're about 1/8 inch long, which makes them very tender. This is all of our meat cut up. We're waiting for it to thaw. This is all of our meat cut up. I'm waiting for it to thaw. This is what we cure the jerky with the first time. 1 part brown sugar, 1 part pickling salt. You can add more sugar if you want it sweeter, which I usually do. And then the stuff on top is just a generic jerky seasoning that I get. I don't like a lot of pepper or spices or anything like that in jerky because I like the cherry wood smoke flavor to come through. Much nicer. But you do need some pepper, stuff like that. Sometimes I just add black pepper. This has to be thoroughly mixed, which takes a while. And then we'll start rubbing it into the jerky. Our meat's beginning to thaw pretty good. Just sprinkle this stuff on and mix it up. This will eventually turn into very soupy, sticky stuff, like syrup. As the water comes out of the meat, salt draws it out. And we'll be pouring liquid off of this before too long. If you have too much seasoning, don't worry about it. It's reusable. I'll be making bacon next week. And hams next week. I'm butchering a hog tomorrow. And we'll be making bacon and ham from that. We just continue with this until we've got all our pans pretty well covered. This is all of our meat in the pan. You can see it's not a very deep pan. It's about 3 pounds here, I'd say, counting the sugar. But we'll cover this up, put it in the fridge for a couple days, and then mix it up. Let's set a few more days and mix it up. And then I'll take a little piece and fry it, just to get a flavor. At that point, I'll decide whether to add more sugar or not. Sometimes I do. This is our leg of lamb jerky ready to go into the smoker. After we added the salt and the cure and the brown sugar and stuff, the salt caused it all to shrink and pull the water out, and it kind of glued itself together into giant pieces. But that's too much salt, so we always rinse it for about the same length of time that we cure it. Take it off, wash it off, put it in a bowl of water for a week or so. And then it all comes apart and it looks like this. Sometimes there's little tiny meat scraps that won't fit on the grate all through. I take those and put them on a shish kebab. Don't waste any of it. It's too good. Now we're going to load the smoker. This is the firebox of my smoker. Those are some 6/8" logs in there, all apple wood. We're waiting for the bark to burn off, and then we close it up with this big metal piece there and let it smoke for several hours. But we have to burn the bark off because the bark gives a bitter smoke. This is the old smoker in operation here. There's the door. And inside I have 6 shells. 3 of those are full of jerky, and then I've got 2 hams. This is the final stage of our jerky. I had 3 pans this size for jerky drying in the oven. When it came out of the smoker, it was very wet, which is normal. We ended up drying it at about 140, 150 degrees, just hot to the touch. You still touch it though. And we dried it for about 8 hours, I would say. It depends on how it goes. Sometimes it's 6, sometimes it's 10 hours. These pieces are all ready to go. They're rubbery, kind of like jerky. I don't like it too crispy. I like it a little bit moist. So these are the little tiny bits we put on a shish kebab, so we didn't lose them. And over here are some bigger pieces that still have a little bit of red color to them rather than dried, and they need a little bit more drying. These pieces over here. These are ready to go. The way we do this is freezer bag, and put a paper towel in it, because there's still a lot of moisture in these, and it will come out when you put it in the fridge. It's colder, the moisture starts seeping out. The paper towel soaks up some of the excess, and it will also distribute itself amongst all the jerky, so that the really crispy ones will come a little bit softer, the little softer ones will come a little bit more chewy, so it all equalizes and becomes very nice, tasty, tender product. That takes a week or 2 in the fridge for that equalization to occur. And that's how we make jerky.